another episode of Two Guys in the Mic. I am Scott, joined by Mike and Tony. Matt, his vagina hurt today. He said he just wasn't feeling that well, so we gave him the night off. Anyway, so on today's podcast, obviously, the big talk is going to be the playoffs. We're going to talk about coaching vacancies, but first, Mike kind of wanted to dab into that touchdown by the Saints. Anyone who missed it, the Saints went into that final formation, the end of the game, and they decided to hand the ball off. Saints scored. Arthur Rhodes obviously was super pissed off about it, had some choice words there at the end of the game. I personally, guys, for me, I didn't have a problem with the touchdown being scored at the end of the game. I don't think there's any such thing as the NFL is running up the score. The professionals. It is what it is. This isn't college football. This isn't high school. This is professional sports. You don't like it, don't score. The issue I did have is you do not go into that formation and run an actual play. That I feel is a problem because really the defense isn't going to really be set. They're not going to be ready for a play. That's an easy way for someone to get hurt.
Yeah.
That's the key is on a meaningless play like that, somebody getting hurt.
Yeah, I mean, granted, both teams are not going into the playoffs, but you just never know. Just something stupid could happen to a guy. So I don't like the Saints running a ball from that formation or just a play in general, but I don't have an issue with them scoring as many points as they want. I don't give a shit about that. It scored 80. Who gives a shit? Right?
Well, it was 41-17 already at that point. They
Yeah,
were coming back.
I think that was Winston's statement, like an FU to the Saints for a season of just like you should have just put me in the position and not Carr. I don't know. It's just I feel like Jameis Winston don't give a shit. Like, what are they gonna do? Get rid of him when he's? It's just I feel like I agree with you. I don't disagree that they should not have run up the points. Like, go ahead, run up the points. Like, that's what you're here for. But at the end of the day, like, somebody could have got hurt because they thought, like, whatever, I'll just give up. We lost. Look at, we're getting demolished already. I'm not going to try. And then, like, then they have to try because they're all thrown off because they're running a play. I'm going to get in trouble if I don't run the play, and then, or at least try to do something, and somebody gets hurt, and it's just unnecessary.
Yeah, what's your take on it, Mike?
I agree with what you said. If they were going to run a play, they should have lined up in an actual formation. You don't line up in the victory formation.
Yeah.
Because even... how many times you see it the other way around? The offense is lining up in the victory formation, and the defensive linemen are still going 110%, and it pisses off the offense. You've seen that happen multiple times.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I was actually a little bit surprised there wasn't like a small skirmish for the Saints scoring that touchdown out of that formation, but I really believe the Falcons were in not give a shit mode and just trying to finish off that season. So
yeah,
they were probably mad that stopped the clock because of the touchdown, and that just meant that Smith was their head coach longer.
Yeah. So that I think that's enough on that. We're on agreement. The touchdown didn't mean shit, but reformation and do that to another team, I don't like that. So let's jump into coaching vacancies as of right now, guys. So out of these 5 right now, okay, Falcons, Panthers, Raiders, Chargers, Commanders. Who do you think, if you were in line to be a head coach, who do you think would be your, like, out of these 5, who would you prefer to take over and why? And
the Raiders. It's the Raiders.
Not because you're a fan,
and not because I'm a fan, but it's like after what happened in the past 5, 10, like 7, 8 games, the past 8 games since AP took over.
He has a winning.
He has a winning record. He's 5-3, but at the same time, it's not that. It has nothing. Like I'm a big AP fan. I believe he represents the Raider culture, and like he said, like, we don't want you guys to like us. We want you to respect us, right? And that's what the Raider way has always been, and he embodies that. And now whether they choose Jim Harbaugh or the Raider or AP, like, both are good picks. I think AP has a lot of learning to do, but I mean, he has that opportunity and he's willing to learn, and that is the important part. He doesn't think he knows everything. He's getting advice from everywhere he can. And like Tom Coughlin is helping him, right? Learn how to be a better coach. He has 2 Super Bowls with the Giants. So, I mean, he's learning from people who want to be better. But I think when it comes to like what is the most attractive team, I think definitely the Raiders. I mean, you look at the Commanders. What do they have? They traded away their 2 top defensive players. Their offense is just garbage, except Sam Howell. I mean, he could have been better outside of that offensive line. Like, they don't have weapons, and they gave away their 2 best defensive weapons, right? You look at the Chargers. That's a shit show in of itself. I like Justin Herbert. I don't knock the kid. He has weapons. I just don't think the OC can. I don't place him to the way they should. Like, if you look at the way Kellen Moore like handled him, better than most, but I just think I better than the previous few OCs he's had. But I think that the Chargers need to do more on offense. I need to beef up their secondary a little bit more on the defensive end. Their front line's good. Who else? Panthers. That's a shit show. I don't even want to talk about Panthers. Everybody, you can see that. Like, it's a shit. There's nothing attractive about it. Panthers, Falcons, same thing. They're young. I think it's the same situation as it was coming into this preseason. The Falcons are young. You can say they have weapons, but you need to see them in an actual offense that works. Arthur Smith wasn't it. We all talked about them being young, having potential. Yeah, they could explode, but we need to see more to say they're a good team. Now, I think that was 3. I don't think that was 4. Whatever.
Yeah, and the Patriots.
And the Patriots. I'll talk. Well, I think.
Because we still don't know about the Patriots.
Yeah. In my opinion, I don't think Bill Belichick retires, and I think Josh McDaniels goes back, and they have the Patriot way. That's my opinion. But we'll find out in the next few weeks. But I think the Raiders is the most attractive. Why? Look at the way the defense played absolutely phenomenally in the past 8 games under Patrick Graham and AP, both like molding that defense into a top tier defense. This has never happened for the Raiders in the NFL history. We had the least amount of penalties all of an NFL season. That's insane. And so, like, that in and of itself, like, most of the penalties we've had in the past were defensive penalties. So when you look at our defense and how much they've improved in just 8 games, that in and of itself is just, it's very attractive. And then you look at our offense, our weapons on offense, and what we bring to the table. Our offensive line is not that bad. It's not nearly as bad as the Commanders. We got Devontae Adams and Jacoby Myers. He's one of the best slot receivers in the NFL. I know people might disagree, but I think Jacoby Myers is great, better than Renfro, and I think Renfro is going to go. Trey Tucker, look at what Trey Tucker has done in the past 8 games. I think if you look at what the Raiders have, they just need a QB. So I think those are the 2 things. I think the Raiders is the most attractive when it comes to the 5 teams that need a coach. But they need a QB, and it's what is the coach planning on doing with the QB?
And a running back.
I think Zamir White will be able to handle the load. I think given today's day and age, running backs are not as important. I think they are important, and Zamir White is not bad, but he can handle his own. And so if we keep Amir Abdullah and we have White out there, Zamir White, I feel like we can last. We have the wide receivers to do it. I think we just need a good QB that can make it happen.
Mike?
I think that a coach is probably going to look at how they want to handle it. Do you want to go to a team that is better set up to compete now? Being that would be, I would say, the Raiders. Underneath that, I would say then would be the Chargers. And given the right coaching staff, I'm going to throw the Falcons in there. Reason why I'm throwing the Falcons in there, nobody in that division ran away with it this year. And I think with the right coaching, the Falcons actually could probably win that division. They're in the same thing. They need a quarterback. Outside of quarterback, I think Falcons probably can compete right away. Now, do you want to go to a team that's going to be like the Commanders, where you're going to be basically pretty much rebuilding? Mock drafts already have the Commanders taking a quarterback at number 2. So they have Sam Howell, but have they given up on him already? So I think a lot of it is going to go into the situation that the coach wants to try to go into. I mean, look at DeMeco Ryans. He took over a team last year, and they're in the playoffs this year. So Panthers are also a shit show. They are still rebuilding. So I think a lot of it goes into who's set up the best to be able to compete right away. But I would say that's probably going to be the Raiders.
Yeah. So I'm in agreement with you. I'm actually more tied on the Raiders and the Falcons than what you guys are talking about, because both teams, I feel, are a quarterback away. I like with the Raiders. I think what they should do is they should sign Pierce to a 2-year deal. Don't put long-term deal. Give him a 2-year deal and really make sure that he's going to be able to coach for a while. If he does well in those 2-year on a 2-year deal, I think that's when you go ahead and say, okay, we're going to go ahead and give you this long-term deal. This way, if it doesn't work out, let's just say they don't draft very good players he wants for whatever he's trying to build the team as, just doesn't work out. You can get out of it without having to pay like how they're paying Gruden, McDaniel, I don't know if I was going to call him McDaniel or McDonald's, but McDaniels. Anyways, and you're not stuck in one of those contracts where you're owing a bunch of money to a coach that didn't work out. So I think what you do is you sign him to a 2-year deal, do that. The Falcons have a lot of weapons on offense, and they're young, like what Tony was saying. For me, I think if the Bucs are not smart enough to re-sign Baker Mayfield, I would love to see him go there. The other thing, I think the Falcons, even though it's in the division, I think they should call up the Saints and be like, hey, if you guys aren't going to use Jameis Winston, how about you send him to us? He's a guy that can throw it. Now, he's not like going to not throw interceptions, but I can guarantee he's going to be way better than Ritter. Okay, like way better. This team is built to score points on offense. They just need a competent quarterback. Now, the thing with the Chargers, what, Mike?
Okay, so you're going to have Kirk Cousins out there. Their mock drafts have already have the Vikings taking a quarterback. Kirk Cousins, yeah, he tore his ACL. I don't know. Is he on track to be ready to start the season?
Who knows?
You could throw him in there, and I think Atlanta wins that division hands down.
Yeah, I don't know. The thing is that team's so young. I think they need like kind of like maybe a quarterback that's late 20s, early 30s. Some of that grow with these young guys.
Grow with them.
Yeah, not like a one and done. Because Kirk Cousins is probably a year or two away from being done. Like, sure, he can probably go in there and win some games, but if you're trying to build a Super Bowl team, you need players to stick around for a while and not just try to like do it in this real quick window. I feel like that never works out for teams. So anyways, back to what I was saying. I got Falcons Raiders kind of on like the same level. I do give the Raiders kind of like more of an edge just because they're the Raiders. They're a team that people want to go to. People like the Raiders. They got great fans, and I think as a coach, I would rather coach there. But the Chargers, I'm actually have the. You guys hear that? What's that noise coming from your guys's? There we go. Okay.
Is it me?
It's Tony.
Yeah. What is it? What do you hear?
Like a fan or something. There you go. Now.
I have no idea. It could be my computer fan. I have no idea.
I hope my audio was working.
Yeah, your audio is working.
Okay. So, anyways,
I'll go on mute.
So with that, I would actually take the Commanders over the Chargers, and here's why. The Commanders, yeah, they're a little bit of a shit show, but they have some decent weapons on offense. They have good running backs. They have some good wide receivers. They need help on the offensive line. They're going to need help on the defense. Obviously, they gave up some pieces, but they have a lot of picks. This is obviously going to be a rebuild team, but the reason I would pick the Commanders over the Chargers, sure, you go into the Chargers situation, you have Justin Herbert, you have your franchise quarterback, but let's be real. Khalil Mack, he's getting old. Joey Bosa, never healthy. Keenan Allen, he's getting towards the end of his career. Mike Williams can't stay healthy. I think they missed on Quentin Johnson. He's not going to be very good. The guy can't catch a ball worth of shit. Austin Eckler, he showed this year. He's done. They're going to need a running back as well. So basically, if I'm going to take over the Chargers, I'm looking at this as we're probably going to end up rebuilding this team. So I almost put them in the same line as the Panthers. The Panthers think they might have a quarterback in Bryce Young. We don't know. He has no one to throw to. There's nothing over there. So, like, I really can't sit there and grade Bryce Young just based off of what has been available to him to show it off. Like, you know what I mean? You can't just stick a young quarterback in there and be like, okay, we'll make it work. That's just not the way it works. It's not the way it goes down. And that's why some of these quarterbacks, they don't pan out. So the way
I think he needs more time. I think we need to see more from Bryce Young. in order to say he's good. I mean, I want to give him the benefit of the doubt, right? I don't want to knock the kid too much. I mean, his team was pretty bad this year. He did shine a little bit with Adam Thielen in the beginning of the season. It kind of died out. He couldn't sustain it, and I don't know what it was. I don't know what happened with the kid. But I mean, you look at C.J. Stroud. He just, I feel bad that he had a concussion at the end of the season and lost out on those few games, because I think his stats would have been significantly higher. And the fact that Tank Dell was taken out, I think that C.J. Stroud would have had these monstrous stats with those two elements working against him. But I think Bryce Young, we need to see more. I think he needs the weapons to do it. He is weapon dependent and he's not independent. I'll put it that way. CJ Stroud is independent and he can make things happen, whereas Bryce Young is weapon dependent.
Well, it sucks for the situation Bryce Young went into. They don't have a first round pick this year. That's not gonna help them next year, or at least help him.
Okay, well, do you think they make some trades?
What assets do they have to give up?
Yeah, I don't know. They'll find out. They can give up the house for the next few years.
They already did to get Young.
Yeah, they don't have.
They don't have a first next year either. I don't remember.
No, they have a first next year, but you think about it like this. Okay, here's the other thing that Mike, that you were talking about, having the Commanders taking a quarterback at number 2. Nobody knows what the Bears are going to do at 1. They don't know if they're going to hold on to Fields. Are they going to let Fields? Are they going to trade Fields away? Shoot, man, if I'm going to trade Fields, I'm Atlanta and I'm calling right now. Be like, hey, is Fields available? Because we are more than happy to give you some stuff for him. I think if I'm the Bears, I'm sitting and waiting for Harrison to declare for the draft. And if Harrison becomes available, what I would actually do is reach out for the Commanders. I would bullshit them and be like, hey, we're gonna draft a quarterback. What you guys got for this number 1 pick? Trade back 1, let the Commanders take a quarterback, and then go ahead and take Marvin Harrison at number 2 and get something in return. Or just take Marvin Harrison straight up.
I like that, Scott, and I hope that's what happens.
Yeah, I would like to see Fields stay, but anyways, back to my order. The way I have it: Raiders, Falcons, Commanders, Chargers, Panthers. That would be my order if I was a coach. So that's enough for that. All right, you guys ready to talk some playoffs?
Playoffs? Talk about playoffs.
No joke. I think this is the most hyped up playoff bracket I have seen in a long time. There's a lot of good stuff coming in the playoffs, guys. So I want to start in the AFC. Let's go ahead and start with the number 2. Let's go Bills, Steelers. Who you guys got? I'm pretty sure I know who you guys got, but who you guys got?
Bills.
Yeah, I'm right there with.
Well, can I tell you, before we start going down game to game, can I tell you what I'm sad about?
That the Raiders missed the playoffs?
Nah, I don't care about that. I'm sad that the Texans and the Browns are both AFC teams, because I really would love to see one of those two teams go far. Like, it would just be like storybook, right? The Browns, crazy. Like, they've had the most crazy past 2 seasons, 3 seasons, or whatever. Like, they're just so up in it because they've had so much shit. They've been literal shit for the past, since I've been alive.
I mean, it's only in their name.
Yeah, exactly. And like the Texans, the story with CJ Stroud and him coming and just dominating as a rookie, breaking records and just absolutely dominating, elevating the entire team with one person. Like, I would love if they were, one was AFC and one was NFC, and they could just, I like storybooks, because we all know what's gonna happen. But whatever. I just wanted to say that before we started.
That's only a 2.5 point spread right now, Tony.
For what?
That game.
Well, we'll get there. We'll get there when we get there. Anyways, Chiefs, Dolphins, Tyreek Hill returning to Arrowhead to face his former team. I'm taking the Chiefs just because the Dolphins can't seem to beat a team that with a winning record. The Dolphins really blew a great opportunity against the Bills last night. Mm-hmm. It just, yeah, I cannot take Miami on the road in Arrowhead against Patrick Mahomes. Like, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to. It would be foolish. So
smarter, not harder.
Yeah, Mahomes at home in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Yep.
Real quick on the Chiefs, I saw a rumor today that there's word out that Andy Reid could retire after this year.
If he retires, Travis Kelce's retiring.
Yep. I was gonna say the same thing. Well, if he retires, he's sick. Something's wrong with him medically. I don't think he retires because he wants to. Something's wrong with him. If he retires, it's a medical problem. I'm positive.
I can see that.
I don't think he wants to. Why would you retire at the peak? Like, not peak, but I mean, he's been coaching forever. He's old, but he loves the game. He's one of those coaches that would like die coaching on the field, and he's.
But Tony, some of that stuff does have to do with family as well. You know.
Yeah, we all know what happened with his son.
Yeah, so I think it could be a family thing. It could be family kind of pressure him, like, hey, like, how much longer are you going to do this? You know, they won a Super Bowl last year. He's won a couple with Kansas City. In fact, I think wasn't this their 9th straight division title? Something like that.
Ever since Reed started coming in, yeah.
Yeah. So Browns Texans, guys. That unfortunately we are going to see almost magic ball. I got the Browns winning, man. I got the Browns winning in a good game, but I just think the defense is going to be the difference maker, and the Browns have a much better defense than the Texans. I still think the Texans will put up points, but yeah,
I think this is where the Tank Dell injury hurts them
big time. And it's not even that. I think if Tank Dell were here, we'd still take the Browns. It sucks, man. It sucks because I want to watch.
But hey, you know what? The Texans, if this is the end of the road for them, they got nothing to be sad about and hang their head low on.
No way.
You got a brand new coach coming right into a rebuild team. You got rookie receivers all over. You got rookie quarterback. Actually, now your number one running back was your number 2 at the start of the season because Dameon Pierce completely sucked ass this year.
Mm-hmm.
So Texans, I mean, they're only going to go up from there. They're going to be competitive for a long time.
Yeah, I'm expecting them to go pretty defense heavy in this upcoming draft. I think they're pretty well set, at least on the offense side of the ball. You got your franchise quarterback. You got 2 great young receivers in Nico Collins and Tank Dell. They could definitely use something at the running back position, but we'll see what they do there. I think it's just going to be kind of the same thing that they did. I think they're going to do always like a running back by committee because I think C.J. Stroud is going to be the guy to carry that franchise. They're not going to be like the strongest of running game, but the defense did play a lot better towards the end of the season. Again, that's Ryan's specialty. I always feel like more defensive-minded coaches do better in the NFL because I think if you can hire the right offensive coordinator, you just let him do his thing instead of getting involved and trying to change things. And it's also, I guess it's kind of the other way around. Like, I guess you could take Kyle Shanahan as a great example. He's just like, leave the offense to me. I'm going to get some great defensive coordinators, run our 3rd great defensive coordinator, and let that defense do its thing. And I think it's good when a head coach doesn't have to worry about both sides of the ball. So I do expect Houston to go pretty heavy on that side of the ball, but I do believe this is where it ends for the Texans, and I'm going to take the Browns and probably like a 28-22 game, something like that.
One score game for sure.
Yeah.
I'm watching that game.
So moving on to round 2, Bills. The Chiefs will be at the Bills. Who you guys got?
Bills.
Mike?
All day.
Oh, you're saying round 2?
Yeah, this is round. We got Bills and Chiefs.
Bills.
I got the Bills as well. I think they've been playing great defense. I don't think Josh Allen's going to have one of those games. I think he's going to do good. I just don't see the Chiefs making it to another championship this year. I just don't see them making it to the AFC Championship. They're going to be on the road. I think it's a long time coming for Buffalo to make it back to AFC Championship here, and I got them. Now on the other side, Ravens and Browns, guys. I am taking the Browns in an upset.
I was gonna say the same thing.
Lamar, look at as good as the Ravens are. Lamar has a history in the playoffs as not being good. Whatever they do in the regular season wins regular season games. But not only is this the playoffs, but you're playing a divisional opponent that also beat you during the regular season. Joe Flacco is a Super Bowl winning quarterback. I don't care that he's old. He's not going to feel any pressure. It's not going to be like, oh, Joe has to go out there and win. Compared to, okay, Lamar Jackson's probably going to win MVP. They're the number one seed. They're at home. All the pressure is on Baltimore and Lamar Jackson to win this game. And they have folded plenty of times in the playoffs. It's just a different scenario. I have the Browns upsetting the Ravens. Mike?
If they shut down Zay Jones, if the Browns shut down Zay Jones, Browns will win.
Zay Jones or Zay Flowers?
I mean, Zay Flowers.
I was gonna say, I didn't know the Jags were in the playoffs.
No. Zay
Playoffs.
Yeah, but yeah, I got that. So, okay, guys, AFC Championship, we're pretty much all on board. Browns, Bills, who you guys got? It's Tony. Bills are at home.
Browns. Let's go, Browns. I'm taking it all the way. You know I've been this whole season underdogs. And the fact that Joe Flacco is playing like his Super Bowl self and Amari Cooper's out there dominating, and you got that whole, you know what? Nick Chubb got destroyed for a ring. That's what happened. Let's do it. I don't care if he's still on the team. He's going to get a ring.
Mike?
Bills.
Tony, the only reason I'm taking the Bills right here is because I think it's really hard to win 3 road games in the playoffs, especially in the AFC. I think that Ravens game is going to be some real smash mouth football. And I think regardless of who wins that game, even if we're wrong and the Ravens do win, I think both teams are going to beat the living shit out of each other. And I have whoever does win that game. Obviously, I have the Browns, but if the Ravens pull it off, I have the Bills still making it to the Super Bowl just because I think they're going to handle – I actually think they're going to handle the Chiefs pretty well. And I just don't think the Chiefs are as physical as the Browns. So I got the Bills making the Super Bowl, guys. That's going to be my –
I was going to say the Bills have a much easier path, in my opinion, to the AFC Championship.
Funny you say that because when we jump into the NFC, it's going to be the same thing for the way I got the Cowboys going as well. But yeah, the only reason I'm saying that the Browns are not going to win that game just because I think it's hard to win 3 road games in a row in the playoffs. I think that's really hard. I think that's the only thing against them. Now, it wouldn't surprise me if the Browns win, but we got to make our pick, and I'm making the.
It's not a bad. I mean, it's not a bad pick, right? You're going with the logical pick, but the Browns, baby.
Now the Bill going back real quick. The Bills Chiefs have not been playing great either.
They haven't all year.
They have not.
And this season the Bills need to win, man. They need to win.
Well,
I don't think the Bills need to win. I think Josh Allen needs to win.
That's true.
Josh Allen needs to get all that criticism behind him and say, "I did it. You know, I got there."
Yep.
So you guys jumping into the NFC here. Packers at Cowboys.
Cowboys.
There's not really much to say about this. I think the Cowboys are just.
I don't even know how the fucking Packers are in the playoffs. I know they're out. I know why, but that means just Cowboys.
Jordan Love has played really good in the second half of the season, and he's been playing really good. But I just think that the Cowboys can be a little bit too much. They got a lot more playoff experience on that side of the ball.
They got a lot more weapons too.
Yeah, it's going to be a little bit better game than what people are going to give it credit for, but I definitely have the Cowboys winning. Rams at Lions. Tony, who you got?
Rams.
Mike?
I'm going to go Lions.
I'm going Rams. I'm with Tony. I just don't think Laporta. Now he's out, right?
Oh, that is why I
forgot about that.
Without Laporta, there is that drop back quick pass is not there.
Have they ruled him out already?
I think he's done.
I think he's done. Like that knee injury was devastating.
Well, so what I saw it was hyperextended.
I thought that was the AJ Brown.
No, Laporta hyperextended knee and bone bruise.
Yeah. Either
Oh
way,
no, it says an outside shot, so he's not gonna play the first game. There's no way in hell.
the Rams
He'll miss this game for sure.
look. The Rams are 7-1 in their last 8 games. Not 7-1, but they finally got healthy. As soon as Kyrie Williams came back, that offense exploded. You got Kyrie Williams running out of his mind. You got Puka over there setting rookie records. You still have Cooper Cup.
He didn't even just set rookie records. He
Yeah.
blew them out of the fucking water.
Yeah, you got Matt Stafford. Offense line has been great. Their defense is suspect. Everyone knows that, but it hasn't stopped them from winning. So and they got McVay. He's a great coach. So I got the Rams going into Detroit, and it's sad because the Detroit fans deserve a win, man. They haven't seen a playoff win, and I don't even know how long.
So
But
the Browns, boy. So the Browns.
yeah,
I have this pegged as my game to watch round 1.
yeah.
And I could definitely see it being a high scoring game.
Oh,
You got two offenses that are going to be just getting at it, scoring points all over the place.
yeah, and as much as Detroit's defense was supposed to be an upgrade this year, they haven't been. That secondary has slowly been given leaking just yards and points as the season has gone on. And I got the Rams at setting them. So, Mike, you want to change your pick, or are you still going to stick with Detroit?
I'll stay Detroit.
Okay. Eagles.
Loser.
Eagles going Bucks. Eagles going Bucks.
Bucks.
Were you shitting in your pants right now?
No, I was gonna cough right now, but I didn't want to do it all loud.
Dude, he was like let one out right now.
No. What's the status of AJ Brown?
He's not. I'll give a shit. Bucks. Yeah, no, Brown's out.
Is AJ Brown out?
I don't know. I was just reading on it right now.
And Jalen Hurts, don't forget.
Oh, he is out. Yeah, he's ruled. No, he's ruled out versus the Giants. But I want to know who group will.
We probably won't know until later on in the week, but I don't think it matters. The Eagles have been playing just trash.
They're broken.
People are saying no matter what, they need to fire Nick Sirianni.
He took them to a Super Bowl last year, man. They lost both coordinators. I think you give him another year. Give him one more year, but he's definitely going to be in the hot seat next year, even though they're making the playoffs. It's just the way that this team has played down the stretch. He's lost control of that locker room. He's going to need to gain it back. They desperately need to win this playoff game, and the Bucs aren't anything special either. Don't get me wrong. It's just the Eagles are almost playing like the worst defense in the NFL. It's been ridiculous. So I have the Bucs winning this game in an absolute shootout. I think both teams are going to score over 30 points. It's like a 38-34 game, in my opinion. But I do have the Bucs winning. So anyways, me and Tony have pretty much been on the same page all the way through this thing.
Yeah, I just think I'm going to say Bucks as well. I think the Eagles just have too many injuries right now.
Yeah. Well, Hurts' finger is not broken.
No, it was dislocated.
It's dislocated, but it's still going to hurt. It's going to be
swollen
for a week. It's going to be swollen.
Even if AJ Brown plays, he's not going to be at 100%. And Devontae Smith is out, right?
Mm-hmm. I just don't think they can make it happen. I don't think they can.
Yeah. So anyways, that would leave Rams traveling to the 49ers. Now, this is like the first time I think McVay has beat Shanahan, right? Was this last game, Mike, in McVay's history? Or has it just been like a really long run?
Remember the Rams took out the Niners in the playoffs a couple years ago?
That's right. But I think regular season matches, that was the first time.
Regular season, I think so.
Yeah, so this is going to be a better game than what people will give it credit for. It's another divisional game, which is always makes me nervous. Last year, when the Niners had to play the Seahawks, I was nervous. I think this is just going to come down to the Niners as being overall just a better team. They're going to carry the better defense, which will be able to stop the Rams at times. And I think the 49ers offense will have no problem scoring on the Rams. So I just feel like the 49ers are going to end up winning this. But I think it's going to be like it'll be single digit probably. victory for the 49ers.
Maybe 10 points.
Yeah, maybe, but it is going to be a hard-fought game, and I think the Rams are going to give the 49ers everything they can handle. Tony, who you got?
49ers. They're good, man. And if they don't win the Super Bowl, Kyle Shanahan sucks. I'm just kidding. They're good, dude. Like, this is like make it or break it for Kyle Shanahan.
This is their year.
That has to be.
Well, this year and next year, because after that they're going to have to pay Purdy, and that's when things are going to come apart. We're going to have to get rid of some pieces. So I think the 49ers window is open this year and next year, but the type of year that they've had and the way they beat the shit out of other NFC teams, the Super Bowl, you don't make the Super Bowl. I would not, even though Shanahan has put on himself a great team, you shouldn't be losing with this team. Period. I don't care. So that's my take. Mike, I know you got the 49ers. We don't even need to talk about that.
They should have made Super Bowl last year.
Yeah. Bucks.
But don't bring up those horror stories, huh?
Yeah, we don't talk about past seasons. Bucks.
Are you sure?
We don't use that language?
Yeah. Yeah, we don't use that language. Tony. Bucks,
Go ahead.
Bucks at Cowboys.
I gotta go with my boy Baker Mayfield, only because he deserves it. He has absolutely turned his life around, and is the quarterback that he should have been when he started. And I think he deserves it. I'm about the stories, right? The Cowboys may have better weapons, but Bucks, I think Baker Mayfield is gonna play his fucking heart out. And you know how the Cowboys, they can shit the bed any day, or any game. Like that's what they're known for, is shitting the bed in the playoffs. And
the Ravens of the NFC.
Yes, and I think this is the game they do it, and the Bucks go to the championship.
Mike,
Cowboys.
I got the Cowboys too. I got the Cowboys. They're at home. Dak at home has been like freaking. He's been lights out at home. He's a completely different quarterback at home than he is on the road. The Bucks, I don't think they're very good. They barely won the freaking NFC South, probably the worst division in football, and they barely won that. That's a little bit embarrassing. They're only in the playoffs, I feel, because of their division. That's it.
Yeah, but they're there. That's all that matters.
Yeah, and I mean, as great of a story as it would be to watch Baker Mayfield make the NFC Championship with the Bucks, it's not going to happen. Let's be real. But that leaves, we're going back to the 90s, guys. The Cowboys at 49ers in the NFC Championship. And Tony, if you pick the Cowboys, I might drive to LA and beat the shit out of you.
No, I've said 100 times, man. The Cowboys are going to beat the shit out of the Niners. I'm just kidding. No, the Niners are just, they're going to go to the Super Bowl. That's it. If they don't, I'll go to Brock Purdy's house and slap him myself. Like, you need to go to the Super Bowl, dude. You guys are fucking good. And if you can't make it happen, damn, bro. I don't even know what to say. It would hurt me for you guys as fans. It would hurt me. Even though I would enjoy watching every second.
Yep. But I will say this: if the Rams manage to beat the 49ers, I got Cowboys going to the Super Bowl.
I can see that,
Mike.
I can see that.
Yeah.
Look at the last game the Cowboys played the Rams, 42-20 or some shit like that. What was it? Was it? I don't have the game in front of me. Was it? Yeah, 43-20. They dominated them.
Mike.
That was also early in the season too, Tony.
So.
Doesn't matter. It's just like people are going to say the 49ers blew up the Cowboys, but that was week 5. That was a complete. I almost feel like that was Cowboys.
Kyron, they didn't have Kyron Williams.
Doesn't matter, Mike. You got to win with what's on the field. You have to.
No, I know.
This is a different team. I don't know. It could. Kyron Williams has been playing his fucking ass off. First fucking. Never mind. He just came back from injury, so I can't even say that. It could. If the Rams somehow magically beat the 49ers, Cowboys go to the Super Bowl against the Browns, and the Browns fucking dominate them.
We both picked the Bills.
I picked the Browns, bro.
I know. I'm saying Scott and I both had the Bills.
All right. Mike, who you got? Cowboys at 49ers?
Niners.
Yeah, I got the Niners too. It's just I think the Niners have Dak Prescott's number too. I think Dak Prescott gets a little nervous when he plays the 49ers, and I think it's starting because of all the talk now. I think all the talk has finally gotten to Dak, and he makes mistakes against the 49ers that he doesn't make against other teams. And I'm talking about like ugly throws, like where it's just like who are you throwing to? Are you trying to throw to the Niners? You know? So I have the Niners beating the Cowboys.
It's also going back to what you said on the podcast a few weeks ago. It would be a road game, not in a dome.
Yeah, the Cowboys have not won a road game outside of a dome.
Yeah.
So
I think so. You guys are saying 49ers, Bills.
we're saying 49ers, Bills, and you're saying 49ers, Browns. Who would you have? It was 49ers, Browns.
49ers.
Mike, 49ers, Bills.
Niners.
Yeah, I think whether it's the Browns or it's the Bills, God, it's going to be a great game.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wouldn't matter. I think it would be a good game. And honestly, I think it would be more of a toss-up if it was Bills-Niners. I think the Bills are kind of built to put points on whatever defense is thrown in front of them just because of the way Josh Allen can scramble out of the pocket, and he's a hard guy to bring down. Joe Flacco has already beat the Niners with a great defense. When he was with the Ravens, he's already won a Super Bowl, so if he was to make it, he can throw that ball. But the one thing I will say about Joe Flacco, though, is he will make some throws that it's almost like he doesn't give a shit. It's either going to my guy or the other team. Let's see what.
I think at this point in his career, given where he was at the peak, right? And then he just completely fell to the valley. And I feel like he don't give a shit. Don't give a shit.
Yeah,
Somebody's gonna catch it.
Tony. I think maybe resting up a little bit and getting his body right and coming to a new setting is where there wasn't.
Yeah.
The Browns, there's no expectations.
There's no expectations. I think he's the better version of Ryan Fitzy.
So, okay. Well, it's unanimous. We all are saying the 49ers winning the Super Bowl, whether it's the Bills.
But if it's the Browns, I'm going to say I told you so.
No, like I said, Tony, I can see that happening. I'm not against the Browns making the Super Bowl at all. The only reason I just don't think they're going to is because, man, to win 3 road games in a row like that's tough. You know,
it's tough. But you know what? The Browns, they don't even have a home, bro. Ohio doesn't even want them.
All right, you guys got anything else you guys want to add?
Derrick Henry.
Ravens. He's going to the Ravens.
I wouldn't. There's a curse on that team, bro. Any fucking running back that goes to that team is going to get like career-ending injury, season-ending injury into a career ending. And he's so old, it's going to be career-ending.
Yeah, but they over there, the way that they rotate backs, they don't use just one back. They do rotate backs, and I think at this point in Henry's career, he is not necessarily a rotational guy, but he doesn't need to be. Dude, they could literally just use him in the red zone. Use someone like Gus Edwards.
And the curse is still going to find a way to
use him on third down and in the red zone. But did you see at the end of the game when they were leaving, they went out, they talked to him. He was talking over the PA system in the stadium, you know, thanking all the fans for the 8 years that he's been there and everything. And then during his press conference, he was thanking all of the equipment, you know, personnel, the security personnel, the cleaning staff, the kitchen personnel. He's gone. He's not coming back. He's definitely going to be somewhere else next year.
How about Saquon Barkley?
I'm out. If I'm Barkley, I'm out of that fucking place.
Franchise tag him.
Unless they franchise tag him, yes. But I don't think...
So it'd cost a lot of money if they did that.
That's true. I don't think they do. You know where he could go, though? Raiders. I think Barkley go to the Raiders. I think he could because you have Giants connections over there with Tom Coughlin helping AP, and AP has that Giants connection. He could be like, hey, come over to the dark side, boy. Let's roll. We'll get you going. Because they ain't going to pay Josh Jacobs. I guarantee it's either Josh Jacobs or Barkley. I think they choose Barkley all day.
Oh yeah, I would choose Barkley over Josh Jacobs all day. I think he's I think he's a better back than Josh Jacobs. Josh Jacobs had just that 1 year, and that's it. He's had 1 year and wanted to get paid, and it's like, dude, stop with this 1 year bullshit. I can't stand that when a guy has his best year on his contract year and then demands to be like a top paid player at his position.
And the worst part is when the teams pay him.
Yeah, if I'm paying anyone, I'm paying the guy that has been consistent leading up to that. Like each year, he's shown me better and better, progression over the guy that's like average. Oh, I need to get paid. Look how good I can really be. Like we're the guy like the first 4 years.
Yep.
So, yeah, I'm with you, Tony. I think that would be a great fit. Would be the Raiders.
I got one last question for you guys. How do you guys feel about the teams that are already out of the playoffs requesting to interview coaches and personnel of the teams that are still currently in the playoffs?
It needs to be done because 2 49er people have already been asked. Assistant GM, I can't remember who was asking to talk to him.
So two teams have asked him. The Raiders and the Commanders have both requested for permission to interview him, and then the Chargers have requested to interview the defensive coordinator Steve Wilkes.
Yeah, I think all that type of talk needs to be done once. I think any talk as far as like, I think you can fire whoever you want, promote whoever you want within your organization, but these teams are in the playoffs. They need to concentrate what's in front of them and not what the future is going to hold, because I want to take that away from them. You know what I mean? Like if I'm Shanahan, I want Wilkes concentrated on whoever playing in the second round, not, this Chargers head coach vacancy. But I think Jim Harbaugh is going to end up going to the Chargers if he comes back to the NFL. I don't think it's going to be the Raiders. And one last guy I want to talk about, because we did touch on it a little bit, Bill Belichick. I believe he's gone. I believe he is going to leave. I don't even know if he's even going to coach anymore. I don't know if he wants to. I'm not 100%.
Yeah, no. I don't think they fire him. I think he retires. There's no way he gets fired.
We'll party.
Yeah, mutual parting. Okay. In the hall. Retired. No mutual parting. He's going to retire. He's done.
I don't think he retires, but do you think it's a possibility that he takes a step back? Maybe goes from a head coach to a coordinator position?
No.
Maybe with the 49ers?
And the same could be said for Andy Reid too, because I know it would be hard for those coaches of that caliber to do something like that, but it does take some of that stress off of them, especially what Tony was saying, if there's a health issue with Andy Reid.
Well, when was the last time you saw a coach be a head coach for 20 years and then go and then drop back and just be one offensive coordinator or defensive coordinator?
Rex Ryan.
Yeah, but Rex Ryan was head coach for 20 years.
Yeah, I know.
It's not likely, but I'm just saying, I mean, that is a possibility.
No, I don't think that will happen. I think it's going to be one of two things. Like what Tony said, either he's going to retire or he's going to take something where they give him a bunch of power to bring up the team.
Whoever goes after Harbaugh, they're going to have to pay extra to get him.
Oh, yeah. And I think
because don't they – I know he just got that contract offer, that contract with Michigan, and I forget what it is, but I think if one of the NFL teams is able to pull him away from Michigan, I think they have to match what Michigan was going to pay him next year.
Well, obviously, he's going to want to get
on top of whatever that team pays.
He's got a good track record in NFL as far as winning. He took over a 49ers team that I think had only won 5 games the year before and brought him to the playoffs. He did exactly what DeMeco Ryans did, because sometimes it's just you just need that particular guy to take over, you know?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't. Harbaugh, he's a good coach, great coach. I just don't think he embodies the Raider way. He's going to come in. I've read stories. I've been reading up on him, and he's very strict, stern, stubborn guy. Gets his way or the highway, and I don't think that a lot of the Raider players want that. I don't think the Raider players want that after what happened with McDaniels. They just don't want it.
Yeah. But all right, guys. Well, I think with that said, I think we touched bases on everything we need to. So again, I guess we'll see you guys next week. But good podcast, and thank you everybody for listening.
See ya.